put up to control the property prices. Okay, so this is a little bit overview of what's going on. Okay, and of course, couple of key reasons. I'm not sure if you are listening out there. Of course, this is really a factor thing. It's property prices, it's property overall real estate in Singapore hot. I guess everyone can feel it from the news, from the show flat, from, amidst this pandemic, the amount of real estate movement that is going on. I guess most people, right, would logically agree it's hot, it's moving up, it's high, whatever the word is. But then, of course, the key reason that we all have to know is why. Of course, number one key reason is the fact that it's low interest rate in today's market. I think this has been repeatedly, even from this morning's opening to the earlier sharings, right? Low interest rate. When interest rate has fallen to today, say probably about 1% minimum, I think you can find 1%. Refinance is low as well. I think it's a fact that it helps to easen up the money installment, and it's a confident, and it's like a plus point for people to borrow money to buy real estate, right? So of course, in this article, in February early on this year, right, our then DPM Heng Swee Keat that flagged out that this low interest rate, but of course, importantly, having resilience and knowing your borrowing amount, it's still very much important. All right. Of course, brought to you by KeyQuest Mortgage here. They have provided me with the interest rate across board from new homes to purchasing to resale to refinancing. Okay, fact number two, which is so important, is the high transaction volume. Importantly, is this word here, from genuine local home buyer. So, it can be high volume from speculator in last time people cooling measures, right? So from genuine, how do we know? Talk about it later. Local, because our current pandemic, it's foreigners are not coming in. Of course, they can buy remotely online without viewing, but to be honest, it's not that easy anyway, right? And how come without the foreigners, without the people coming into Singapore, because we are always, pushed by foreign investment. So why are we still having growth in this pandemic? Isn't it supposed to be dampened? So a very common question that people always ask me is, hey, hi, Kevin, why is the prices still growing despite of the pandemic? I always think about the question, and I always think that it is because of the pandemic, and that is why the property prices are growing. Because somehow, in the later part of my slide, I'll show you that because of really, not that we want the pandemic, because of the pandemic, Singapore has done a good job in overall, has brought us to some attention of global purchaser, of people's attention that see out Singapore as a safe haven and it's still a good place to put their money. Of course, looking at this slide here, it's something not new, right? Of course, including ECs, right? These are the way the units are sold, all right? And we are here today at April, okay? And you can see from the chart, a couple of things I want to share over here. It's, yes, if you still remember over at April last year, which nobody can forget, we went into our circuit breaker, right? Phase one. And we are all, number one, everyone is lost because we've never been through this thing before. And if you remember, all F&B are closed. Like now, the retail are closed, which now is not closed, right? And there's totally no viewing for us, real estate agent. No viewing at all. We are not allowed even 2 packs, nothing at all. Okay, so show flats are closed. Show flats are closed. But if I ask you a question, if before the circuit breaker, we are averagely say about 8,000-9,000 units per month, suddenly dropped to 293 over here, 293. If I ask you, is it a good number? I guess it's normal for you to say, no, it's a bad number. Compared to a 904, 293 is a bad number. I agree with you, but if you take a look at another angle, isn't it supposed to be 0 transactions? Because my show flats are closed, I'm not allowed to go for viewing, and people are in a panic mode and nervous. Isn't it supposed to be 0? But how come there is still 293? It only tells you something, right? Property market, real estate is resilience. It is something in the blood of people, and logically, people do see that it's an opportunity among a crisis. Of course, people are still nervous. That's why you can see within a 1 month reaction, guys, just 1 month, ladies and gentlemen, the prices went, the number of units went up to 509. Almost double, not really double, almost, right? And straight away on June, it went back to good old days of 1,000 unit. And then since then, right, all the way it's an uptrend to we hit a ever highest. Of course, you must understand, in June is where we got out of our phase 2. And then in all the way June, never would even I predicted or imagine we could have reached 2,000, past 2,000 mark of transactions in among the COVID pandemic. And of course, you do see some candlesticks a little bit low because these are also very much packed onto whether the supply of new launch available at the point on the day one of every new launch, is always selling the highest. So it is really a proof why the pandemic, doesn't really stop, because you can delay demand, but you must understand demand can never be destroyed, right? And of course, until today, we are here. You can see last month, April, we are also at 1,342. Interesting, because we are in May now. We are back to heightened alert phase 2. I do not have the figure yet. It looks promising till now. It looks promising. Again, we are back into our home. I'm supposed to be at the studio doing this presentation to you, but because heightened alert, now I'm doing it at my home because we're supposed to not meet together. So, but one key factor that you must understand now, the airports are still closed. The foreigners are still not marching in to buy real estate, even though, yes, it can be done remotely, right? And of course, a couple of key questions here you may ask yourself. Are these genuine local buyers? I guess it must be, because the last 8 years of cooling measures have already put things in place. If you still buy something in today, after going through either A, ABSD, B, strong TDSR, and if you don't pay ABSD because it's your first property, likely you are really buying for own use, or at least your first investment. If you're paying ABSD, likely I think you are somebody who has money and you can hold, because holding power, it is a very important keyword in home buying. All right. And of course, today we don't have speculator anymore. And thus, the next slide, if you look at it, is this the overall 20 years sales transaction volume, including EC, right? We are at here now. This is Q1. There wasn't no April added. April, I believe you can look at here, is 1,342. And if you add April plus the 4,227, you'll get about 5,569. And if you look back last year with no circuit with circuit breaker, it's 11,258. And this year we are around 50% done for January, February, March, April. But what do this chart tell us again? Buying in low transaction volume, it's never a bad thing. If you still remember what happened in 2003, can someone help, I mean, I'm not sure if you can reply by the chat, but, you just shout it out, 2003, what happened? Of course, we know it's SARS. It's a transaction low, yes. 2008, it's the Lehman Brothers, right? The subprime transaction is low. 2014, cooling measures came in hard. It's low transaction. These are high transaction, but till now, we are just half mountain of the high transaction volume. Do you think the transaction, as per predicted, now already done 50%, should end up higher than last year in this year? If you take this number and evenly just do your, calculation, this year by calculations, you end up 16,000. So now I would say it is still a window of opportunity for you to take the action, because every week, every month, every second counts, because it's just creeping up. And these are just what statistics and data can really give you an insight. All right. Okay. And you look at this chart here, right? Proportion of buyers based on residential status. Overall Q1, Q2, Q1 of 2020, 2021. You can see this is Q1 2020. It went up to 2,000 plus. Overall is 74.5. All right, 75% in round up, all right, changes. But SPR seems the higher change. But if you look at the pure data of numbers, 200 plus to 400 plus is pretty okay lah. 1,006 to 2,088 is a huge jump. And these are all majority Singaporeans. All right. So this is a proof. This is a fact that all these transactions come from genuine, importantly, genuine local home buyer. All right. All right. So next, we understand why it's so hot. Right? Because seriously speaking, today, even when we sell CCR project, when we check back on the address, many come from an HDB address. Because after all, HDB is 80% of our population of real estate in Singapore. And just look at now, we are 2021, just 19, 20, 21, or even next year, we have this effect of a very much high avalanche of MOP units in HDB. So minimum occupation period meet, and the HDB owners from BTO can sell their unit. Yes, not everyone sell on the 5th year, but statistics shows a lot of people once met their MOP, this younger generation, right, you normally take the profit and they will jump to private property, which just like a lot of our audience listening in. So there is a huge avalanche of MOP that have came our way, coming to our way and happening now. And also, you look at EC, all right? I didn't have the chart here. EC, I guess all in all, there is about 20 over projects of EC that is up with their minimum occupation period of 5 years. And 21 units may eventually, average condominium size. You can times with 21 units. These are people that are available with profit made from the ECs, ready to come out and buy some new launches or buy some resale condo. So that is adding into the transactions. Okay, and of course, facts number 3, you can see despite the pandemic, uptrend is all the while available on the, is shown on the graph. And I plug from point A to point B. And point A, I plug from 1.8 is because I took from the last cooling measure. If you remember last cooling measure when it came out on higher taxes, it's that night where Park Colonial, Riverfront, Sterling went into their launch immediately, if you remember, on the July 6th. All right, and of course we plug from there. Every quarter we do a up or down. You can see all in all the key indicator here. It's from Q3 18 to Q1 21. There is total of 8 ups and only 3 down in terms of growth, right? So this is a very strong upward trend shown from statistics. Of course, then we look at Singapore, sunny Singapore. We know we are differentiating into OCR, RCR, and CCR. And of course, today I'm more focusing on CCR region. You can see we got your traditional 9, 10, 11. You have got your new Marina Bay area, the newer CCR, where it's District 1, mainly District 2, District 7. All right, and a little bit of 4 and 6, right? Some part of it is a CCR. And we look at CCR overall performance in the last 15 years, right? It's about 159% growth if it's from 15 years. 10-year growth, it's about 23%, and 5-year growth, it's about 13%. All right. Of course, we also look at the average, okay, the average CCR project launches that is in the market now. And we took from first quarter of 21, and we look at it, and we divided out, yes, where some are freehold, some are 99. We take an average to have key indication. We have about 2,000, almost 2,009, 2,881 per square foot. This is an average, not the low, not the high, the average in CCR as a player, as a development playing in the field of CCR. You need to know your average is about 2,881 from Q1 21. Of course, then we zoom into how about project that is so-called near CBD area. So I took from District 1, 2, and 7, and we average out them, and we end up at about the same, about close to 2,009, 2,874. So this is at least the guideline of an average PSF if you want to go into the market. Of course, we also look at the surrounding land cost in the CCR. We have plugged a chart and you can see it's a uptrend land cost because you must understand how things work, because land is always cost to a developer plus the construction plus the marketing fee. At the end of the day, they have an estimated break even, and it all comes out to developers' profit margin, right? And you can see over the last 10 years or 20 years, the margin has come down because of higher, more expensive construction costs. And today, because of the pandemic, labels and things are still difficult, and land costs are always ever rising in the, at least in the world, especially Singapore, right? And of course, earlier on, I hear about one speaker mentioning again the Tanah Merah land GLS. Wow, it's nobody know Tanah Merah. Wow, break even at this price, launching estimated have to be around 1.8, you know, or above for Tanah Merah, you know, and developers are still bidding in, and you can have more than 10 bids in a GLS at this price. And importantly, if you look at the GLS bid, it's not that only the first guy who won the bid is like super high price. The second, third, fourth guy are just merely just a little bit off from the first guy. It shows confidence. It shows that the developers are not, you know, not doing their homework. They are, right? So rising land costs, it's also seen in CCR. And of course, I want to bring to your attention today on District 2, there is, you know, from the last master plan, we look at the two developments here, right, of a Realty Center and a Fuji Xerox Tower redevelopment over here. So, you know, for the last master plan, the government had an incentive of CBD, mainly two things. Of course, objectively, they wanted a new skyline, because we know there's always a older CBD called the Shenton Way, which you know, in the 80s, 90s, and eventually in the early 2000s, there were the IR, if you still remember IR, you know. Then on the Marina South, there's a development now that we have, the whole Marina Bay area, where we got the barrage, we got the Garden by the Bay, we got the Marina Bay Sands. So these are the IR, so-called back then. Now it's like a new CBD. And subsequently, there is the Greater Southern Waterfront that is already in plan, right? I don't know if that you're going to call that a third CBD, but all in all, Shandon Way, it's kind of like an old CBD. It's like an old Wall Street. So government, in the last master plan 19, had a plan that want to rejuvenate the skyline of it, because a lot of the old buildings there are really 20 years, 30 years, and they give two incentives. One of it, of course, is to up the plot ratio, and the other one is to let you have mixed use. That means a pure commercial building in Shandon Way today has the reason to tear down, for developers to buy, or for the owner to tear down, to redevelop into a mixed use, because that's what the government wanted to introduce, work, live, and play. So with the leveraging on the incentive scheme, you see there is a lot of movement within the old CBD. And of course, in this article, I'm just going to quickly let you know that there's movement. So in Tanjong Pagar, the Realty Center, even a developer, MCC Land, took a 30% stake with the buyer of Place Holding, right, of the Realty Center. All right, and of course, then this is to illustrate to you this happening of this insertion. So, you know, CDL have you know, plans to redevelop the freehold Fuji Xerox building, capitalizing on the URA CBD incentive again. Of course, then, you know, they were able to build a higher mixed use building. And of course, a potential 25% of uplift, and this is the reason why people are developers are going in, because there is a benefit, and this benefit is all given by the government to build taller buildings, right? Of course, these are articles in case you want to take a look. Two incentives, right? One scheme encourage mixed use project in CBD. The other promotes joint redevelopments to transform pristine in strategic area, right? So by giving bonus plot ratio scheme, right? And of course, currently, if you look at our downtown, which is the so-called old CBD, you can see mostly largely are commercial building around here. And of course, the future, right? They wanted a little bit of more like a mixed use, so yellow color mixed use. So these are reasons, right? And of course, give a second. All right. So of course, they increase the percentage of the plot ratio over here, and you know, Anson, Cecil Street, Tanjong Pagar Robinson Road. These are the criteria. Then if you look at the plot, the master plan on the plot ratio is significantly changed after the master plan 2019. Things are becoming different colors, right? So of course, coming back to this place that I mentioned earlier on, Marina area, the Marina Bay. Of course, in last time, we do not know what's going to be here or many things. But of course, if you have got the crystal ball back then of course, nobody has. Today, it's so beautiful, and it's not just to us, it's a world-class, recognized, iconic area, just like Monaco, because this tomorrow they're having an F1 in Monaco, right? So that's why I said Monaco, right? And of course, can anyone tell me, what is this building, if you still remember? All right. So of course, this is the Sail at Marina Bay. It's a 1,111 unit project completed in 08. Historical high of 3,499, 99 years. Marina, the Sail at Marina Bay. Importantly, there is this profiting from a first mover being shown in the Sail. Back then, if you remember, I was really a junior agent because I was doing about 18 years in the industry. So back then in 2004, 03, when it launches, it was my second year of real estate agents work. So I can clearly remember the launches. So this chart shows you the profit that is being made from the Sail from 2.1 million. Oh my gosh, guys, can you imagine this owner over here? Maybe if you are listening in, wow, you are very good, man. 6106, right? Bought on 05, so on 19, you make a profit of 2.134 million. And these are all $1 million profit, okay? And of course, you look at the next one. Of course, this is Marina Bay Residences, okay? And it's TOP 2 years later after the sale, only 428 units, okay? A high of 4,368. And of course, again, there is a super profit being made. Wow, this guy, good job, man. 3.315 million for 30 unit 30-10. Okay. And of course, why am I sharing with you this is because if you look at this project, Marina One Residences, in short, we call it MOR. Okay. So Marina One Residences, the average from launch to today, average is about 2,448 per square foot on the average, right? And of course, if we compare why is this a good opportunity? Why is Marina One a residences a good product that today I want to recommend to you? It is because the average price in the Marina Bay area for Marina One residences is only 2,448 averagely. Right, of course, depending on high floor, mid floor, or low floor, that's micro when you go into it, but averagely 2,448. And if you look at chances are, MBR has transacted 4,368 before in the history of Singapore. Yes, transacted 11. Cooling measures came in. This is the reason why it needs to come in, because if not, today we're probably at 6,000, 7,000 per square foot in Marina area. But because of cooling measures, and of course, I don't want to talk much on it. We all know what's going on. History. The price today is 2,448. So my question to you is, today is 2021. If you go in at 2,000 odd, right? Maybe 2004, maybe 2005, maybe 2006. Importantly, is this a good entry price? Number two, do you have a lot of risk upside that is in it? The question to this answer is, I think, number one, this is a fantastic entry price. We cannot go back to the sale back then below $1,000 anymore, because back then it's a first mover advantage. To be fair, back then, today, there's already Marina Bay Sands, and you know the news of Marina Bay Sands is going to be adding on another tower, Greater Southern Waterfront story, all the good things from the last master plan that's being introduced, focusing on the Marina Bay area. All right. And of course, things are never the same again. And importantly, are you buying at record price? So today, number one, entry price is right. Risk is low. You are not buying at the record price. So that's why there is a huge built-in profit, or rather a potential upside, which I say is really huge, that is potentially sitting on in front of you using data. All right. And of course, you must be thinking, hey, Kevin, you use 4,368. No, what if there's only this gung-ho guy that buy this unit? But ladies and gentlemen, there is more than just one gung-ho guy. Of course, he is 4,368 over here, but the rest of many 3,000 over transactions is page 1 of 25, and the sale also have many 3,000 over unit or a PSF transacted. All right, sure, we don't use 4,368. Just use 3,000 plus, guys. At least $1,000 of built-in profits, buffering, cushioning, whatever you want to call it. So definitely Marina One is really a piece of property for you to consider. Of course, from here, we look at another of the key data. If we take about new disparity between new projects and the resale in CCR from the statistics, it's about 34% disparity. That means new and older projects disparity averagely 34%. And if we do a simple illustration, we take a comparison between a Marina One residences and the sale, right? Which is the sale, we take 1965. And if you times by the disparity of 34, actually you should end up at about 2633. But if you remember, the average price is only 24 plus per square foot. We are not even near the disparity. All right. And if you use this calculation, our disparity, it's not 34, but only 12. So again, this strongly proves the huge cushioning that we have from Marina One residences. And guys, you remember just now I showed you this average CCR project. If you look over here, Marina One, it's sitting not at the top, not at the middle, not at the bottom, but at a very comfortable range here for you to be looking at 2471 PSF averagely, January, first quarter to May, PSF 2471. All right, it's still below the average of 2881. And even if you look at the average of the CBD projects, right, it's still sitting at below 2874. So definitely, again, entry price is correct, risk is low, also not the record, the unit pricing. Of course, just to show you back again, this is the average of our pricing. And let's look at surrounding actually right now, all right? We have South Beach Residence. SBR is in my short form, South Beach Residence. It is a District 7 project. A historical transaction high of 3950 is transacted before. All right, we look at Midtown Bay, District 7. We are in District 1 for Marina One. 3008 has been transacted before. We look at Midtown Modern, again, that was Midtown Bay, the side-by-side. So it's again $4,213 transacted. Warwick Residences was also 4,987 transacted. Even yes, we look at an average range of their PSF, it is still 3,000 plus, right? 27, 3,000 plus, 3,000 plus, right? So these are, again, a very much of a confidence given to you. And we look at the piece of article, Warwick Residence, the one that I told you they transacted. Yes, it's a penthouse unit, but even you look at over here, regular 3-bedroom also transact 3,832. Regular 1-bedroom on the 48th floor transacted 3,677. 3,677, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And of course, you know, some of the very big news or the top news that is going on in the CCR that I wish to compound for you, it's of course, we all know someone bought the whole Eden Draycott. They decided buying a 1 unit or 2 or 3. It's a little bit too normal. They want to buy one whole building, you know. So of course, we know all in the news, Wang Wang, you know, I don't know, I hope you have heard Wang Wang, Wang Wang, the Taiwanese biscuit, right? The family bought the Eden at Draycott Park there for 20 units for 4,824 per square foot, breaking the 4,800 mark. And of course, it's not the first time because 3 Orchard by the Park breaking 4,008 mark. all right, for unit transacted. Again, then it breaks 4,009 mark, Boulevard 88, all right, it breaks a 4,009 mark, right? And of course, then we broke the 5,000 mark, right, by another penthouse in Boulevard 88. And of course, recently, I am not sure if you know this news. One of the recent launches that we did in Park Nova broke a record high of transacted 5,838, 5,838. Remember this magic number, guys. So even for land price, we talk about land. Land is always never that high because it's not a strata title. But wow, GCB with such a big piece of land broke a record of $4,005. That is really insane, right? And all this, yes, they may be for the rich and famous, but you see, they are also love money as much as you do. They also have fear. But why are they doing this? And importantly, I learned something from here. Wow, the owner that was not directly sold to the nano firm founder, the previous one. So he bought it at 19.3 million, the guy before, right? Then sold it on and on until from 19.3 million in the last 20 years became 128.8 million. Oh my God, from $600 per square foot to $4,005 per square foot, guys. It just really shows the wonderful thing real estate can do for you. Of course, real estate is very different from stock market. It's not like stock, it will go to zero or negative in overnight. It is supposed to be a mid to long-term investment anyway, right? Of course, over here, this news says the CCR luxury property movement, right? Wealthy Singaporeans are not overseas people, still buying luxury amidst the downturn, which is the pandemic. So here, key indicator, high-end demand are more resilient because I guess they are never, they have so much money, you know, they're pandemic proof, right? In a way, right? Of course, buyer with financial capability sees economy downturn as an opportunity, an upside, a weighty to buy, okay? A sangji to buy, doing a weighty, all right? Of course, CCR property are always low in supply. To be honest with you, right? It's always a small pie. Right, and of course, here we see foreigners pick up trophy homes, guys. Trophy homes. I think the Eden, that whole building by 20 units for your own family to stay, I think it is trophy home. I think money they have a lot, you know, probably, but trophy homes not a lot. So they are just buying because they want trophy homes, and tenfolds of in March. There were around 10 times more luxury homes sold in Prime District from March than February. Okay. Now, of course, high-end condo sales, all right, surge, all right. So key indicator here, transactions in the most expensive CCR was 543 units in March, 8 years high, 8 years. Ladies and gentlemen, if today, 2021, you count back 8 years, which year is that? Mathematics question, 21-3, correct. Thank you very much, all right. And of course, 16 new cases caveated from 5 mil. These are all the ultra luxury property, right? With the most transactions clocked, right, in CCR. So if you look at this, why just I said 21-3. If you count back 2021 minus 8 years high, you go back to 21-3. And if you remember, this is the start of the first cooling measures that comes in, and you know, and when Mac asked, and we were like, you know, getting used to it over the last almost many years. And that is why you see that it's still those kind of higher transactions, just like the Marina Bay, the residents and the sale that I show you. But it's rather quiet in the middle segment here. And things start to pick up from 1819 to today, 2021, we have seen 5,800 plus, right? So is 5,800 plus a biggest, highest PSF ever transacted in sunny Singapore? The answer is no. All right, so I'll bring it back later. But over here, you can see I boxed this up because I boxed it since the cooling measure, right? You can see CCR has the lowest red color growth, which is a good news because as the growth is lower, and right now, it gives you a huge potential upside. And of course, if you think $5,800 is expensive, of course, sometimes we need to compare around the world. Best of the best country, Hong Kong, 23,370 per square foot. Oh my God, guys, why is 5,000 plus per square foot when there is 23,000? Can you just put your feet like this and this? It's like 1 square foot adds $23,000, right? And of course, it's in Hong Kong, over a 3,378 square foot penthouse in the mid-level, Ban San, okay, Ban San in Hong Kong, right? Of course, Singapore record, it's still only at 6,840 ladies and gentlemen in the mark, the mark where there is, at Patterson there. So it's back in 2021. And guys, we are almost closing back to the mark price. In fact, if not higher. Why? Because like I showed you just now, over here, there is cooling measure, and before here, don't have. So if you use 5,008 and you really thumbs by 20% of ABSD, it will give you almost $7,000 per square foot, and it's already surpassed, in my opinion. Okay, but of course, these are just angle of looking at things that I would like to share with you. And of course, today, thanks for giving this opportunity to give you this my own take on my view as an agent or team leader, and in the agency business for the last 18 years. Today, of course, I'm happy to see this potential project I want to introduce to you called Marina One Residences. And of course, it has offices, grade A offices, and it has a retail mall as well. And of course, we're looking at the residences. Here, it's the beautiful Marina One Residences over here. At the back here, it's 2 towers of grade A offices. And here, it's 2 towers of residential, right at the close proximity to the famous, iconic Marina Bay Sands, the Flyer, and the MBFC 123 over here. And of course, like I say, this is a newer area. It's a newer CBD, the older CBDs around here. And you do see a lot of white sites in front. And to me, these are opportunity. White sites are very rare. And if they are ever to be launched, trust me, it will never be cheap. But why is the government not launching these sites yet? Let me come to it later. Okay, just to let me to share with you a very quick news that I had back then about Marina One, just a quick one.
Marina One project is set to raise the bar for future integrated developments and act as a catalyst to attract and grow new businesses. That's the vision of M+S, the joint venture between Singapore and Malaysia, which is working on the landmark project located in the heart of the central business district.
It's another effort in sowing the seeds of friendship. Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and his Malaysian counterpart, Mr. Najib Razak, unveiled the design for the Marina One project. The design expresses the energy and vibrancy of the new district in Marina Bay. The development comprises 2 towers of more than 1,000 luxury city residences. This will be launched later this year. There'll also be offices and a retail podium called The Heart. Marina One will occupy a land space of about 340,000 square meters and is valued at 7 billion Sing dollars.
It's going to be an iconic project in the middle of our new business district for many, many more years to come. And I think this is a project which we'll both be very proud of and which will thrive and prosper and add to our city and to our friendship.
I think we have a wonderful design. I think we have a real winner in this Marina One, and it will certainly fulfill our expectation that we wanted a landmark, an iconic building, and what we see today is the beginning of that iconic building.
The 2 leaders were also briefed on the progress of the other joint project located near Kampung Glam. The project, called Duo, includes office, residential, and hotel components. It sits on 160,000 square meters of land and is valued at 4 billion Sing dollars. The Duo and Marina One are part of 6 land parcels jointly developed by Singapore and Malaysia under a land swap deal agreed on in 2010. Developers say construction for the Marina One project is on track. Piling has started and is expected to be completed by 2017. Marina One will join other iconic buildings in the area in setting a new backdrop for the Singapore city skyline.
Okay, so what did we register from this news that I captured on Channel 5? It's number one, it keep mentioning 3, 4, 5 times iconic building. Iconic. I mean, it's really iconic. And the time flies, today Marina One Residences, the ready TOP sitting beautifully on site. It's really iconic in a day, in the night. Second piece of news that you pick up is this is, if you remember, is a land swap collaboration between Singapore and Malaysia. And that is why you can see, wow, this is the first time my model or my spokesperson for a project that we are representing, it's our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. And that's, wow, a very prestigious thing for us. Of course, it's a collaboration between Temasek Holdings and Khazanah to form a company called M+S, which are a developer for this project on two projects, namely Dual Residences and Marina Residences, Marina One Residences. All right. So I just take you through some facts and figures. Total Marina One Residences is about 1,042 units, and we have sold 918 units. So what I'm trying to say is there's only 124 units selling live as we go. Every week we're transacting. Honestly, we don't have a lot of units, and today I only have 124 units left for you to consider. But it's okay because still there is an opportunity over here. Of course, I'm very happy to have met the main architect, Christoph Ingelhoven for Ingelhoven Architecture over at the Marina One project back then when I met him. Of course, if you do not jot down Christoph Ingelhoven, you do a research. This architect is a German architect that it's very much focused into green buildings, iconic buildings, and it's really famous if you do some research on him. So here is a little article that I have taken from the Ingelhoven architects, about the wind tunneling, the design of Marina One Residences over here, and how cross ventilation has improved airflow to make it a building that is not so hot, microclimates, for you to take a look. And of course, I think what really captured my attention back then was this thing called a green hut. So in Marina One, it's like a